Hello everybody. Today I was making a video on this target holder that I built summer before last. Reason being is when I had an idea of making this thing, I was looking online for different designs and just really couldn't find, I thought I might just find exact building plans for this thing, but nothing was on there, so I just had to design it myself and kind of build it as I went. So I thought this would be an idea for somebody else if they wanted to looking to build the same thing, and maybe they could modify what they was thinking. Take my design and modify it to fit what they wanted to build. But I was just going to explain how and why I did certain things on here. And first of all, the main reason I wanted one of these things is because I got so tired of dragging this target out. I would keep it in storage building probably 40 yards from here, and it's pretty heavy, and I would get tired of dragging this thing out and putting it back up every day if I was, getting close to hunting season, which I'll usually shoot every day just a little bit until opening day. But anyhow, that's the one thing. And you don't want to leave them out, because anybody knows you leave them out and they get rained on, well then they'll start rotting and deteriorating really quick. So I wanted something, off the ground where it wouldn't soak up moisture from the ground, and it also would be covered. So I put the tin roof hanging way over, where the target is, and it doesn't really get wet unless it's a really bad storm. And second reason I wanted this, and the reason I built it this high, was I have dogs, and I seen myself constantly watching for dogs, because I didn't want, to just be concentrating on the target, and all of a sudden, one of my dogs walk in view, and I end up shooting one of my dogs with an arrow. And especially like my curs, she would just get out here and the more I shot, the more excited she would get. She'd think I was, killing something. And then that would mess up my shooting, because I seen myself, I was always, instead of really concentrating on the shot, I was looking for a dog. So even if one did walk in the way, I would shoot over them, and over their back, so I don't really have to concern myself with that. And you can see I put this strap on here, and that is to, if anybody's done this, I've done it once or twice, nothing's worse than you get that target full of arrows and then it tips over and breaks your arrows, which I have done that once or twice. You keep thumping it with arrows and it gets it to rocking, and next thing you know, you got 3 or 4 of them in there and it falls over and breaks them. So that's why the strap's there. And now I've got this is a backstop. This is a horse mat that I have screwed to the back. So see here, I've screwed it on the back, and that serves 2 purposes. First purpose is so I'm less likely to miss. If I completely miss the target, it's not gonna go beyond this. It gives me a big backstop, so I'm not gonna miss the target and it go and hit a car or hit somebody on the, down here on my driveway. And secondly, it keeps arrows from going in through that bag, which is, anybody knows, is extremely frustrating to have an arrow, you know, you go through all that preparation of fletching these things to perfection, and the first shot you make, the fletchings go back into the inside the bag, because you know it's found a soft spot where you've been hitting it in the same place over and over. And now you've got one or two things. You can pull the arrow all the way through, or you can try to push it back out, which neither one, you know, the fletchings are all jacked up 9 times out of 10 when you do either one. So this thing, you know, the arrows have went through it, the other side, the point of them, but they never have went all the way through and messed the fletching up. You know, they'll be sticking probably 3 inches out the other side of that rubber at best. So, not messed any fletchings up with this. And see, I got, say, a tin roof, and I did notice that I put this roof on the same pitch as the house roof, and for whatever reason, that is pleasing to the eye to do that, to have the, you know, other things the same pitch. I put a gutter on it with a little rain chain, so the gutter wouldn't be, you know, wouldn't have this, all this, what would you say, this mess of gutter on this little bitty thing. I thought that would kind of look silly, but I notched these 4x4s, the angle that I wanted the roof, and then bolted them in with carriage bolts. You can kind of see how I notched it and put the 2x4s on them like this. That was a little bit challenging, but not nothing y'all couldn't do too. And probably that. And then here was the other thing. These are concreted in, the 4x4s. I had in mind, I wanted it to serve 2 purposes, which, you know, shooting this way, it's a target that just stays out here 24/7, so I can shoot, just pull out the bow and fire at it, and not have to worry about dragging a target out this way. But I put this part right here on it that is doubles, that is a bench rest, so if I can sight in a rifle the other way, which there's a big bank behind me that I shoot into. It's about 30 yards away. 40 yards away. And I've already got my yardages marked out here in the yard with pieces of cinder block that I buried level with the ground. But how I did this, I wish I had took pictures up before I built it, but how I built this to make this super solid, I mean, that I've, you know, you see it's, this bench is solid as a rock. I bolted 2 boards, 2 2x6s right here on both sides of this 4x4, on both sides of them, and they're running the length to the end right of here to where the band is. And then what I did for the 4x4s, I mean, not the 4x4s, but the 2x6s running here, kind of like floor joist. I had a set going here. Maybe I can look underneath and get an idea. Let's see how I made this grid pattern. Plus I put joist hangers, which adds a lot of strength, and you can kind of see how this goes. But you can see these, they're intertwined. This is not just blocked in. They're like, they're notched, and they intersect with one another. So it's not, so that makes it a lot stronger than had you just, like, you know, toe-nailed a board from those to here, and then put an outer band on there. That makes this whole thing a lot more solid than it would have been. So, you know, I guess, I don't know what you call that. It's not, it's basically, there's a name for it, but I cannot think of it. But it's they're notched. You know, there's half of one, you know, cut out this way, and half of one cut out this way, and then they interlock together, which makes it super strong structure. And then I use this Trex, you know, decking, so I don't have to worry about this thing holding water. Mostly, you know, one thing, so it won't rot, but secondly, so it won't soak up water, and then this bag be sitting on just a, you know, soaked boards, so that it would keep this bag from, this target from holding so much water, so, or soaking up so much water. So that's essentially it. So that's kind of gives you an idea where to start at if you're looking at building one of these yourself. And I'm very much glad that I built it, because I get a lot of use out of it. Makes things a lot easier. So that's kind of my design, and you can kind of make your own and change up, customize one for yourself. Kind of getting some ideas from this thing. So hope that helps somebody that's looking to build them a target stand. And that's it for today. Thank you.